really super exciting times in dHEDGE, as we sort of alluded to. There's a lot happening in the coming weeks and months, so I was really excited to share all of this with everyone. So yeah, just for this call, it's a bit of a rundown of the agenda. So dHEDGE Horizons, so it's a bit of a big, huge product release, and we'll go through all the individual parts of that on this call. I'm going to go through all the UI UX updates. We've had quite a lot of those in the past sort of 4 to sort of 8 weeks. Update on DUSD, which is the stablecoin, dHEDGE stablecoin pool, and the synthetic debt pool mirror, which will be live soon. All right, Jake, do you want to do a brief overview of dHEDGE Horizons?
Yeah, I can do that. Thanks, Matt. So Horizons is the code name we're using to describe the product release in December, and it's made up of 4 components. And the 4 components which Matt's got on the slide at the moment are Toros Finance, which is a new tokenized derivatives protocol on Polygon, which we're super excited about. Then obviously dHEDGE coming to Optimism, number 2. And we're also, for a 3-month period, running triple performance mining rewards based on any eligible pools that are currently receiving performance mining. So that's in collaboration with 1inch and with Polygon. We're releasing, it'll be essentially triple performance mining for the 3-month period. So that'll be a cool bonus. And then the last one is DHT Dynamic Bonds. So the ability to offer discounted DHT in a bond style to based on vesting periods of how far away like the bond issued. But we've got different parts of the team to go through each of these releases. And I think I shall hand over to Henrik to talk through Toros Finance.
Thanks, Jay. So I'll talk a little bit about Toros. Maybe I can share my screen as well. Actually, Matt, if you can maybe share your screen if you'd like to do that, you can show Toros.finance. I can send you the link for the UI as well, and we can have that. But just to get started, Toros is the first incubated protocol of dHEDGE. So it's being built by the team. I think we announced it just a little bit a while ago on Twitter. Sort of we have been teasing it. But what Toros is it's basically a protocol for on-chain derivatives, and it's built on top of dHEDGE. So we will going to continue to focus dHEDGE on active management, but now we have a super flexible decentralized asset management protocol in dHEDGE. The team has incorporated 5 different protocols on Polygon, including Aave. And using Aave, it enables you to go leverage long and leverage short. And as we integrate more protocols, you can build really interesting products on top. So Toros Finance is looking to capture, automated strategies and derivatives that you can build on dHEDGE, and it will have its own dApp, it will have its own site, and eventually it will have its own community as well. And the first product that will be launched on Toros will be leveraged tokens. So with leveraged tokens, you will be able to go 3 times long and 2 times short. And in the beginning, we will have support for Ethereum and Bitcoin, and I think we will be able to expand on that as well going forward. So this is a really exciting product, and we can't wait to release it to the wild. And you will be able to trade different type of products, not just leverage tokens, but there will be other type of derivatives coming to Toros as well. And as we will talk about today, dHEDGE is launching on Optimism, and we will launch Toros on Optimism as well. Instead of Aave, we will integrate with futures platforms where we will be able to create leverage positions. So obviously Synthetics is in a prime position to be integrated with dHEDGE and also Toros. So super exciting, going live soon on Polygon and after that on Optimism. I think I'll leave it there for now.
Geez, thanks, Henrik. Just 1 second. My computer is struggling a bit. Can everyone see the Taurus UI?
Thanks for that, Henrik.
Can you hear me?
I think Matt is showing some of the UI as well. That will be soon
Sorry.
released.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can hear you now.
Yeah. Sorry, my computer seems to be struggling a bit with recording, and I think extra people on the call. Yeah, cool. So you can see the UI at the moment.
What's next?
Let me just go back. 1 second.
Should also note while we go back to the slides that the chat for this call is a AMA community call thread on the dHEDGE Discord.
Yeah, that's a good point. So if you got any questions, feel free to throw them in there, and we will swing back to them at the end of the call. Great. All right. So this is, I think, what a lot of the Synthetics team is interested in finding all about is the dHEDGE on Optimism. Jakey boy, you want to go over this?
Sure, Matt. Yep, I can take it. So yeah, I guess we listened to the community last call, and we prioritized the OVM launch for dHEDGE v2. We have, as of this morning, deployed the contracts to OVM, and we're working on now like the required front end and back end changes, basically, which we hope should be done in the next week or so. Clearly, the first protocol we'll be integrating with is Synthetics, but I guess for some of you guys that have been around since the dHEDGE v1 days, and even our newer members, it might be nice to go over the differences between the original dHEDGE protocol and the dHEDGE v2 protocol. The dHEDGE v1 protocol, it was entirely dependent on Synthetics, so you could only use the Synthetics protocol to complete trades and to pretty much manage the assets within your dHEDGE pools. With v2, we have a new protocol architecture, which basically allows us to quickly enable other protocols for our managers. So on Polygon, we support Balancer, we support SushiSwap, we support Aave, and each of these protocols gives the managers access to different kinds of strategies they can employ in their pool. And as Henrik mentioned, we're able to implement other automated strategies based on these protocols, like going long and short with Aave. And so with our OVM deployment, we're keen to quickly expand on top of it to implement other protocols that the community is interested in. This could be Lyra, this could be Uniswap v3 for LPing, anything that the community brings us, we're happy to consider. One of the ways that we're able to do this quickly is our DApp is able to run these third-party protocol dApps within an iframe and connect to them via the Gnosis Safe SDK. So our managers, essentially, they connect to the dHEDGE dApp, and then they manage their assets within these other protocols within the dApp. And our contracts basically ensure that the managers are only calling functions on these third-party protocols that we allow, which is which is probably like a really powerful benefit of dHEDGE, and allows us to rapidly expand into other protocols, synthetics based or not. So any questions about that? Happy to answer them now.
I can do a. Can you hear me?
In addition to that,
I can just do a bit of a demo anyway. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, so you can keep talking. I'll just do a bit of a demo of how you interact.
So I guess what Matt's doing here is, as a manager, he's going in to manage a fund, and he's just demonstrating here how you might do a swap with, say, Sushi Swap within our DApp. So you can see here, he selected Sushi Swap, and Sushi Swap is loading within the iframe. It's automatically connected to using the Gnosis Safe SDK. And what Matt's doing is here swapping USDC to ETH. Effectively, what would happen if Matt tried to swap an asset that we hadn't whitelisted, the transaction would be rejected by the dHEDGE protocol. But in this case, both these assets are whitelisted, so Matt's able to trade in and out of them. This works similarly for, say, Balancer and for LPing in Balancer. So you might open Balancer, you might want to LP, so you might deposit your assets into Balancer and then decide which pool you want to LP in. So clearly, like, protocol integrations like this give the managers access to yield farming opportunities, LP rewards, broader ranges of assets. So anything that's listed on the Sushi Swap that has enough liquidity, we can whitelist. And then with Aave, as we've mentioned, the ability to borrow and basically lend to generate yield as well. So that's good. The other thing that we're going to do as a part of the deploy to OVM is Synthetics have kindly offered to match a 50K prize pool for a trading competition. We're yet to iron out the exact, I guess, rules for that and how that will work, but in the coming weeks, I guess, we will let you guys know. Any questions about the OVM deploy or dHEDGE v2?
Like there's one question in the chat about if funds can span different chains, e.g. if I deposit funds on Optimism, can the manager use Aave on Polygon?
No. Unfortunately, no. There's no bridging of sorts there across pools, across chains.
Not at this stage. That would be nice if that can be engineered to have a multi-chain pool.
Any other questions from anybody on the call?
I know this is kind of a long-term outlook. This is a long-term outlook question, but are you guys gonna like work with the Synthetics team when it comes to futures and shorting and things along those lines?
Yeah, absolutely. We hope to. As we say, our protocol is very flexible. In the way that we can integrate quickly and seamlessly with other synthetics-based protocols. So yeah, that's definitely on the horizon.
Yeah, we hope to do a number of things with synthetics. Obviously, I think what you will see in the short term is the debt mirror pool that will soon go live. And obviously, as we are moving to Optimism, you will see more collaboration. One thing that comes to mind is tokenized shorts. So that's something Synthetics had on L1 mainnet previously. And that's something we can automate with dHEDGE because using our bot SDK, we can keep C ratios updated continuously using a bot. So you can basically build tokenized short positions with the dHEDGE SDK. And that's something I believe you will see Taurus Finance launch on OVM.
All right, very cool. Thank you, guys.
Might hand it back to you, Matt.
No worries. Thanks, Jake. That was a very good summary. I should say, all this the dHEDGE Horizons. We didn't really say it's all the release date is the middle of December. So it's all coming up very soon. So really excited to kick it all off. And then so the next thing is the triple performance mining rewards. So both Matic, so Polygon and 1inch have co-sponsored the performance mining. So from that same start date, all the eligible pools that are currently earning the performance mining DHT rewards will then also earn the same proportion of the Matic and 1inch. So that comes to a total of 110,000 in US dollars worth, based on today's prices. So this is super exciting and means that the extra yield on top of whatever the pool performance is should be quite significant. I think at the moment it's about 11% just from the DHT. Could be a little bit more now. So with those extra rewards, it's probably getting close to that 30% as an extra reward yield.
I got a question from the Optimism. Do you guys have a rough estimate of the DHT supply you guys are going to throw over there?
Sorry, what was the question? One more time.
I just have a question. Do you guys have a rough supply of how much your guys to Optimism of DHT, the total supply over there?
Total supply of DHT to Optimism?
Yes.
You mean how much liquidity will be on Optimism for DHT?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's been discussed at this stage. So don't know. But definitely I'd expect some DHT liquidity there. That would make sense.
Okay, thank you.
So do you want me to just jump into the dynamic bonds?
Yeah, if you can, Ermin. I've got this slide, and then there's a bit more explanation on the next slide. Unless you want to share your own slides that you've got.
No, let's just do it. So I guess the problem was, or some things some goals for dHEDGE and some issues. So I think dHEDGE should grow its protocol treasury. I guess we're also looking to sort of increase DHT liquidity, as was just sort of asked as well as sort of protocol control value, which is sort of the term used now for treasuries, and increasing TVL, and also importantly lowering DHT emissions. So for example, DHT staking rewards today are mostly coming from inflationary DHT rewards, and now a smaller portion today comes from the protocol treasury quarterly rewards, which then market buys DHT, which is kind of like the sustainable yield. So if you think of it from a synthetics point of view, it's like when you stake, you earn inflation on the SNX, but on the other side, you also earn trading fees from the trading volume. What we're looking to do is over time to make it more sustainable. And to do that, we need to lower DHT inflationary rewards, but at the same time, to sustain the APY, we need to increase the protocol treasury value and the rewards that come from that. So it turns out, this can be achieved with Olympus-style bonds. I won't go into that here, but we could potentially add some improvements to it, and we're calling it the dynamic bonds. So the difference is that buyers can enter with any tokens. So for example, USDC, you don't need to buy another token or an LP to sort of make that trade. Tokens are locked rather than vested, which would defer sell pressure. And also on the dynamic side, the buyer can decide on the lockup time period that suits them, anywhere from say 1 week to 1 year. And buyers would be incentivized to choose the longer time periods on larger discounts. And also, probably the most importantly here is the liquidity pairing that this USDC is used for is not fixed. So it's dynamic and can be determined according to the treasury allocation, and can even be a dHEDGE pool. So when the bonds are purchased, those funds can be used to allocate liquidity according to governance, and can be managed by a manager, which is pretty cool. And that's something we're also discussing with Olympus about as well. They're interested in this concept. So yeah, the proposal, which is on the forum for this, it's had like just decent feedback at the moment. So to initially provide liquidity for DHT and DUSD. So the idea is that this will increase DHT liquidity, and on the other side, DUSD is a yield-bearing asset. So it will both create yields, grow the treasury, and provide liquidity for DHT. So yeah, happy to answer any questions about this as well. Oh.
Thanks, Erwin. Yeah, super exciting. All the new sort of like DeFi 2.0 that everyone's sort of calling it, with what Olympus has kind of started, and then how everyone can take that and further it for their own benefit. Yeah, so we did a lot of UI UX upgrades, just to make the user experience much more easy. Sorry, Edson, do you want to go over this?
Yeah. Matt, do you want to open the app?
Yep.
Yeah,
While you guys are preparing,
go to the Discover page. The first thing I'll talk about is the benchmarking against ETH and BTC. Go to the highest ranked Polygon pool. So one thing that I've interacting with users, both the managers and investors, I've heard a lot of the same desires. One of them has been, from the manager side, they want to generate alpha for their users. So a lot of the work they're putting in is researching and figuring out how to outperform the market. And for the investors, they wanted to invest in pools that are outperforming the market. Otherwise, they would just buy and hold ETH and BTC. So with the new chart we can benchmark against either Ethereum and Bitcoin, or both at the same time. This manager, for example, over the past week, he's outperformed both Bitcoin and Ethereum, cashing out right before a drop and then buying back in. So this does a few things. One, for the investors, they can see on-chain history of whether the manager that they're trying to invest in is outperforming the market. Another thing is, for the manager side, we heard feedback that managers want more feedback from the app of how well they're doing managing the funds. And this is one step towards that, is giving feedback based on what Bitcoin and Ethereum are doing. Obviously, if you're outperforming them, then you're doing well. So this is just an easy way to see if your fund is generating alpha for you. Alpha, for those that don't know, means just performance that's above what the market is doing. Another thing we added, private and public pools. So if you go to manage, you can go to your pool and then edit privacy settings. So here in this setting, you don't have to change it, but this allows you to, as a manager, create a private pool. So any pool you create, it gives you the option, and now when you create it, whether you want it public or private, and then after you create it, you can switch between public and private. So it's a non-binding setting. And then once you make it private, you can have a whitelist of investors. So you put in Ethereum addresses, and then these addresses can invest in your pool. This was actually included in the contracts from the start of dHEDGE, if I understand this correctly, and it was also already included in the V2 contracts when we first released. This was added preemptively for institutional users. in case that they wanted to do like personal KYC before launching their fund on chain. But yeah, this is available now from the UI. Another thing, go to investments. Are you invested in anything? Another thing, we've been hearing feedback of integrating with other portfolio apps like Zerion and Zapper. One thing I've been hearing from that is they want to see what these apps do that dHEDGE didn't, was it would show a history of your portfolio. So now you can see the history of like since the launch of it, your past performance in terms of TVL from your investments on the manager side. That's coming soon as well. And also scroll the way up. For the connecting wallet, you see new buttons. So the switching pool and this new modal. This is added, I think, the start of the month. This is actually the result of a long-term effort from the front end. We did a large refactoring of our Web3 libraries using more modern Web3. The ones we were using at the time, they were modern, but I think they stopped being updated. So we changed to this, and this ended up with our old libraries. We could only use MetaMask to trade. Now you can use any of the available wallets you have here to manage your portfolio and invest. Let me see. Other stuff are just like UI updates, just the appearance of things. So if you go to the DH token section, so we put the governance page here, updated some of the appearances of, say, the governance page, staking, all of that stuff. This is a new appearance. Anything I missed? I think that covers the most important parts.
Just the auto connect is probably the only other.
Yeah, I think Jake mentioned that before. So for managing, we improved the UX. Before you had to go through a long process. We had a large explanation. But now, as a manager, you just click on an app and it automatically connects to that app. No need to use Wallet Connect anymore. It's much more streamlined UX. Especially for Aave. So if you before you wanted to leverage, you'd have to connect to Aave, borrow, deposit and borrow, disconnect from Aave, connect to one of the DEXs, connect there, do a swap, disconnect from there, go back to Aave. It just makes it a lot more streamlined, especially doing actions between different apps. Yeah, any questions?
I think another page that's been updated is the analytics page.
That's right. Yeah. This is if you go all the way to the footer, you go to analytics. So before, analytics was a separate web page. Now it's included in the main app. Here you can see all the analytics you saw in the old app, but with a new design. Yeah, any questions?
This is awesome, man. This is great. I like it. Everything was wow. Great updates right there. My question is for the manager go against Bitcoin and Ethereum. Is there maybe an option for future other coins to go against? For maybe a drop down?
Oh,
I didn't catch most of that.
I'm sorry, you were breaking in and out. I didn't quite hear the question.
I said the first thing, you guys, it was great updates, man. That was awesome updates right there. And I just want to say, is there going to be any future additions for us to be against Bitcoin and Ethereum, and maybe an additional window for a drop down to go against other coins too, whatever we choose, just for checking?
For now, we just added these two, see if it gets any use. Is usually what people consider the market is Bitcoin and Ethereum. But yeah, that could be something to consider. I was thinking S&P 500 maybe, but maybe that might be too an American thing.
Yeah, things like that. Just whatever, just give us some more options. But that's cool, man. That's a great start. Like I appreciate that. I'm definitely going to use that.
Cheers, thanks. So yeah, a bit of an update on DUSD. So if you don't know, DUSD is a dHEDGE pool, so it's dHEDGE stablecoin yield. So this pool automatically looks at whatever stable farm has the highest earning yield and farms that. So at the moment, actually, it was the Frax and USDC on Sushi Swap. I think that's just finished now, so that'll swap to another pool shortly. And then, automatically harvests the rewards and then adds more to that liquidity. So it's just an easy way to hold stable coins while still earning that extra yield. And then now, it technically is available for managers now. It's just that we're waiting for Balancer to put the token listing on there. So you can do it at the moment. You just have to paste in the token address manually. So that should be done by the end of today, from my understanding. So then that makes it like a really good tool for managers. So obviously, if they like, what just happened recently, there was quite a big sort of drawdown across the market. But instead of just going into USDC, they could go into DUSD. So then they know they're going to earn that sort of 20% roughly or more yield while waiting for the market. And then the Synthetics debt pool mirror. So obviously, we've been working with Synthetics closely over the last few weeks and months, and we obviously had the original debt pool mirror with dHEDGE V1, which was very successful and useful. But then now, obviously, because dHEDGE is integrated with Aave and all the other dApps, the debt can be hedged outside of the synthetic system, and also it means that you'll be earning yield on it rather than just holding the like naked assets. So, for instance, if you're shorting in Aave, the Ethereum portion of it, or the USDC, so you're going to earn a yield over it. So, when you look at the your debt over time versus the dHEDGE debt pool mirror, you should outperform that debt. So you don't have to actively manage your debt. And Synthetics, I'm not sure if anyone on here has the latest sort of update. I know like you're integrating with the UI, so the Synthetic stakers can just, it's a quick option, just stake SNX, and then there's an option to hedge the debt via investing in the debt pool mirror. Okay, questions? I haven't looked at the chat. Any?
Yeah, just to hop in, I know that just a little free alpha, I guess, when it comes to the integration directly into the UI for the debt mirror token, that's literally going to be like directly into the UI, like a Uniswap like interface. So just for anyone here that's going to have to utilize that, it's going to be like dead simple. I'll also have a blog post going on about it. It'll have a little GIF to show you what that looks like. So yeah, just to add a little bit of context to that.
Yeah, awesome. I think it's such an important sort of feature, because I know obviously a lot of the old guy Synthetics, can manage their debt quite easily and enjoy that, trying to catch the alpha and farming. But obviously a lot of people don't have that time to hedge the debt correctly. So giving someone an easy option to hedge and without letting themselves get wrecked, because obviously a lot of stakers that don't hedge at all, when the debt pool increases, end up getting super wrecked. Is there any other questions? Let me just quickly.
Yeah, does anybody have any more questions?
Nothing? Anyone else from the team have anything else that they want to share or that I may have missed? It's like so much going on, it's hard to catch everything.
Yeah, one thing So in the app, we added the one banner in the investment space to leave feedback. If you had any feedback, please leave some there. We read all the responses and consider them greatly for the roadmap.
Actually,
I have a quick question. Go ahead.
I was just going to go on top of that. We did conduct a managers town hall, and Helios and LTH provided a lot of good feedback on that. But then going forward, we plan to do managers town halls, every month. So it just creates this like relationship where we can get feedback quick and easy from managers of what they want us to prioritize, and any issues they're founding and want addressed sort of quickly. So look out for that in the Discord events.
One of the other things I will say, Matt, is that we have a quite advanced bot API. So the way that the synthetic debt mirror pool works is we basically monitor the debt positions in the pool, and we have a bot that takes out the opposing positions inside the dHEDGE pool, and that's what allows us to mirror it. And this can be leveraged for all sorts of other automated strategies. So if you're a dHEDGE user or you're a budding manager and you have an idea about how to run a really good automated strategy, our bot SDK can definitely help you do that. It's super simple. It's got pretty decent documentation. So that's just one thing to consider if any of you guys have great ideas for automated strategies. Sorry, Helios, I think you might have had a question.
Oh, it's okay, man. It's good to hear some alpha. It's always good. Just a quick question on what the assets available are. You not going to know which ones are going to be available off the top with the Optimism launch? Is it going to be similar to the version 1 dHEDGE, like Tesla, Apple, the oils, the metals, Monero, Litecoin, etc.?
So at the moment, at launch, there'll only be the synthetics that are available on Optimism at the moment. So SBTC, SETH, SLink, SUSD. But as newer synths are enabled on Optimism, we will put those new assets that are added up for a vote, and any of those that have the vote will be added.
Okay, thank you.
Actually, anyone from Synthetics want to sort of jump in with the plan for adding more synths on OE? If you have any ideas exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's kind of up in the air right now. I know we were at first waiting for the regenesis from the Optimism side, but soon enough, I'll put it as one of my priority items to try to get a plan out there on what new synths are looking like. I know most of the engineers are focusing pretty heavily on futures and things along those lines. But I will definitely put it on my list of things to get info out on, and then I'll reach out to the dHEDGE folks so you guys know. I definitely do want a ton of new synths on layer 2. It's also a conversation with Chainlink and things like that.
Yeah.
I guess
I will keep
you guys have an SIP for the wrapper factory, which will allow people to mint synthetic versions of ERC20 tokens directly. So I guess once I know that's on the roadmap for before the end of the year from the synthetic side. So hopefully once the wrapper factory is deployed to Optimism, that'll open up a range of synths.
Yeah, awesome. No, I think it's really good with.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, we after obviously the regenesis, that was the big influx of whitelisted protocols. So it means that just Optimism is just going to continue to grow and grow and grow, and it just creates more options for dHEDGE to integrate, and then just create these tools for managers to be able to utilize.
And May I just ask, Jakeboy, what is your affiliation again? So who you're working for directly? Because um, just asking based on what you were saying right now.
Me, Jakey boy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I work for dHEDGE as a core contributor.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so okay, it's fine, but because yeah, maybe we can sync after the call.
Sure.
Good.
Any other questions? We're coming up to the hour, but happy to answer any more.
Oh yeah, curious if Aave Sports coming to the SDK. As of the last time I checked, you couldn't automatically manage Aave positions from the bot SDK.
I think you should be able to. Maybe the docs need updating.
That is also what I was going to ask about. Docs definitely need updating.
Yeah,
if it is
bring
available,
up.
because I couldn't find any documentation on it.
Yeah, I'll check with the team that deals with that. But yeah, we have a bot right now that's using Aave, so I'm pretty sure you should be able to.
Sweet, thanks, Edson.
We definitely can. But yeah, I think maybe the documentation
Maybe we should
could
put
be.
maybe we should put up a grant or something for updating the docs.
Yeah. Anything else before we wrap up? Was there anything in the chat as well? I haven't actually seen that.
We're also currently working on enabling DHT as an asset for managers on Polygon. For a while now, we've been waiting for a Chainlink Oracle, so a price feed for DHT, but we've started looking into using a TWAP for DHT pricing. So we've been keen for a long time to get to allow managers to hold DHT in their pool. So that should be coming to fruition shortly.
That will also enable the DAO to manage DHT liquidity on dHEDGE. So once DHT is enabled, we might look to create a DHT liquidity pool that manage DHT liquidity, which will be pretty cool.
I do have a question myself.
Go for it.
Kyle speaking here. What are some strategies that y'all have been using regarding onboarding people into your hedge that are not familiar with crypto operations? If
Yeah.
anyone wants to.
Yeah, it's definitely a what do you call it? Like an area we know it's lacking to try and really onboard less experienced, like technical people. Because I feel like, dHEDGE is can be a little bit a step too far for very new users. So definitely looking at, as we said, having better documentation and so better tutorial videos for like onboarding.
Have you taken steps? And I'm not the type to want to just send. Obviously, I'll have my money already on layer 2, and then they pay me this, and then I use my money, my current funds, to put it into it for them and take the difference. But have you has anyone onboarded someone recently that was not familiar with crypto? I'd like to hear about that experience, if anyone has. No worries if not.
Yeah, man. You know what? Show them the data. Data never lies. Be data driven, and if they want it enough, they'll figure it out. And some have, and I helped them to the touchdown, but they worked themselves to the 30-yard line. If they can make it there, I help them the rest of the way. If not, well, maybe they will eventually.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm just looking for the a broad sense of strategies from other people. It was it was a casting net with large holes in it. But
Yeah. It's something
I appreciate it.
it's something I've been thinking about a lot in terms of like the app, because that's some feedback we got early on, and I've been realizing that a lot of people that want their assets managed for them, they're probably people that aren't very financially savvy, that they want people that are more educated, and those are usually the people that are new to crypto. They hear about crypto and then they want
Invest in Dogecoin.
they want to invest in crypto, but they want someone else that they trust to do it for them, right? So that's one thing that I've been doing. So I guess like in the app, I think it recommends you to download a wallet if you have no wallet connected and you go to one of these pages. And if you have a wallet connected, then it'll give some more guidance. But you want to do more stuff other than that, like educational content. I've been pushing for YouTube videos to walk people through this. But yeah, slowly we've been just focused on adding features that create value. Recently, I've been more brainstorming how can we ease the onboarding process. We've talked about fiat on ramps, but I think Aave had them and they ended up removing them. Then there's the question of if you have fiat on ramp, do they know how to withdraw to fiat kind of thing? So would that really add value kind of thing? But yeah.
So Edson, so I'm currently in the process of pulling my family members in, just because I hate what they invest in. But I just need more advice. Really, I'm very technical on explaining the gas fees necessary transfer from USD to layer 2. I just was looking for a little bit of help on dumbing it down as far as gas fees go, and like, hey, you're gonna have to spend a little to put your money in a better position. I'm really bad at guess. And so I was hoping for a little bit of help to grow dHEDGE itself. I love the app and I love the service. It's just really difficult for me to dumb down what the gas fees are, I guess I could say. If anyone would help me with that, I'd be super appreciative.
Yeah, I've heard some of our friends call it service fees. They're not familiar with gas, and they're ask like, it's a service fee. Why do they call it gas? Maybe you could use that terminology, because most people know what that means.
Yeah, for sure.
A dynamic service fee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I like that. Oh, it's a dynamic service fee. That's easier to pitch for sure.
Needs more buzzwords.
Right. But I appreciate it, guys. I like what y'all are doing here, and it's really appreciate the community calls.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. It's great to see many more people here, especially from Synthetics team. Any last questions? I think we might wrap it up because that's been about an hour. Great. All right, thanks everyone for joining. It was really exciting, and really can't wait to everyone to see the dHEDGE horizons. There'll be much more content coming out in the next few weeks, and lots of AMAs and everything. So really excited to see it all come together, and get more people onto dHEDGE, and welcome back all the Synthetics people